Hello there, my name is Dominic Liberon, and I'd like to talk to you about my Uncle Mitch Hamon. He was an amazing person. He was very kind, he was very generous, and he was very sincere. He was my hero, and he was also the type of person that made the life of everyone around him better. He had a way of spreading happiness, and I miss him so much. He died of a massive heart attack when he was only 42 years old. And I want to turn his death into something that can promote life. And so to do that, I've developed a project called Canoe to New Orleans. And starting in June of 2012, I'm going to canoe 3,000 miles from Saskatchewan to New Orleans. This is a journey that's never been attempted before, and I'm doing it for two reasons. The first is to celebrate my uncle's life and the time that we got to share with him. And the second reason is I want to raise awareness about heart disease. I don't want people to go through what my family and our friends went through in losing someone that was really special to us. Heart disease is preventable, it's avoidable, as long as you take the risk factors seriously. And that's something that my uncle didn't do. He smoked a lot, he drank a lot, he didn't exercise, and he wasn't very careful about what he ate. And that caught up with him one day. He had some warning signs of heart disease, but he didn't listen to them, and he didn't take them maybe as seriously as he should have. And the consequence is that he didn't get another chance. His heart attack hit him with a lot of force, and it happened very suddenly. And it's just such a shame. It's just such a shame to lose someone that's so special. And so I want people to know that they are responsible for the health of their heart. No one else is going to take care of their heart for them. And if they don't, the consequence can be that they leave behind people that will miss them probably for the rest of their life. I'm sitting here between my living room and my kitchen, and I've put together a shrine that you see behind me to celebrate my uncle's life. And I also put it together to help me cope with his death. And if any of you out there are dealing with the death of a loved one, I really recommend doing something like this. This is the first time I ever make a shrine, and to be totally honest with you, when I first thought about it, I thought it was kind of a stupid idea, and I really didn't think that it would help me, but it did, and I'm really happy that I put it together, and I'd like to share it with you, and I'd like to tell you about some of the things that are in it and what they represent. At the very top, you can see that there's lights. And those lights represent my uncle's spirit, or his spark. And that's something that I don't want to ever have fade or to burn out. And so that's why I put lights at the top of the shrine. And you'll see there's a lot of pictures. And the pictures all tell a part of my uncle's story. So there's some pictures that show him cooking and barbecuing, something that he was really good at. They show him sharing his love of Cajun culture. And that's the reason that I chose New Orleans for my destination. My uncle absolutely loved the people and the food and the music of Louisiana. There's another picture here of my uncle comforting his niece Marielle when she had to bury her father after he passed away from diabetes. Her father's name was Bob, and he was my Uncle Mitch's older brother. And all these pictures, I think, symbolize what my uncle was about. There's some yellow sticky notes here, and on them I wrote the things that I always wanted to tell my uncle but never made the time or took the time to tell him. And so writing him out and putting him here, I thought it was meaningful for me, and I think that it helped me get my feelings out. And next to those sticky notes is a song called Mon Oncle Bayou. Mon oncle is a French word for uncle. It's like a slang term that people use. And Bayou obviously is the swamps of Louisiana, and that was one of my uncle's nickname. A lot of people called him Mon Oncle Bayou, or just Mon Oncle for short. And that was a title. That was something that my uncle earned, and it was something that he really liked to be called, even by people that weren't related to him. My uncle was the type of uncle that everyone wanted, and he treated people like they were family. And this song was written just after my uncle passed away by someone that used to work with him. My uncle's good buddy, Tommy Douglas, who my uncle used to call 10-2 Tommy because he was always 10 minutes early for work. And other things that are in the shrine, a lot of references to the Montreal Canadiens. One, because my uncle was a huge hockey fan, but also because the Montreal Canadiens represent French Canadians in the hockey world. My uncle's favorite player was Maurice Richard, number 9, the Rocket. And my uncle was a lot like Maurice Richard in that he was a very humble person, he was very hardworking, and he was also very determined. And one of the things that he was determined about was making the people around him happier. And he just had this energy and this magic that he used to share with people, and they always used to perk up when my uncle was around, and it was really special to watch him interact with people. It was really amazing. Another thing I've got in the shrine here is a bottle of Tabasco sauce, and again, this represents my uncle's love of cooking, his love of spicy food, and his love of Cajun cuisine. In 1992, my uncle and his good buddy Camille Boland took a trip down to Louisiana, and that's where my uncle really discovered the culture and really fell in love with it. And they also toured the Tabasco factory. Another thing I have in the shrine is a little bottle of scotch here. My uncle used to like to have his sip every now and again, and those that knew my uncle realize that I'm definitely understating when I say now and again. Another thing I have here is a tape of Dire Straits' album Brother in Arms. That was my uncle's favorite album, and he had an expression that he used to use all the time, and he would say, "It's bon monde pis des bonnes tunes," and that means good people and good music. And those were things that were really important in my uncle's life. And the other thing I want to share with you is $10.92, and I put that in the shrine because that's how much money my uncle had to his name when he passed away. And that represents the way that he lived life in the moment, and every day he lived to its fullest. And it also shows how generous he was. My uncle was always buying gifts and presents and treats to people, and it was really endearing, and it was really heartfelt, and it was really sincere. The last thing that I want to show you is some of his ashes, and I'm going to be carrying them with me on my canoe journey down to New Orleans, and I'm going to spread them when I get into Louisiana. And I think that's something that my uncle would definitely have appreciated. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about is some of the media outreach that I've been doing. I'll be interviewed by CBC Radio in English and in French before the journey, and also during the journey. And with that media exposure, I want to talk to as many people as I can about heart disease. And I also want to encourage them to take the health of their heart seriously. And I think that even little changes can make a big difference, whether it's cutting back on the amount of salt or the amount of smoking that they do. Even small steps will make a difference. If you want to learn more about my project, I invite you to visit my website. It's www.canoe+canoeing.com, and there's also a Facebook page with the same name. I'll be uploading my status remotely via special GPS during the trip, so that way you'll be able to follow my progress. And I'll also be posting pictures on the website so you can see the same things that I see and share the voyage with me. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you'll follow my progress starting June 8th when my voyage starts. Thank you very much.